New tonight, one local man came within seconds of having his car broken into, perhaps stolen, until a superhero came to his rescue. One with tights, a mask, and a super suit. This isn't a movie plot, but a real battle against crime that took place in Linwood, where Cairo 7's Monique Ming-Lavin joins us live tonight. Monique?
Well, Steve, this has to be the wackiest break-in story ever. It started on Sunday when a guy who only wants to be known as Dan, actually walked back to this parking lot, and as he approached, he saw another man with a metal strip trying to pry open his car.
And you just start sticking it down inside between the window here and the rubber strip.
Dan was calling 911, but help flew in before he finished dialing.
From the right, this guy comes dashing in, just wearing this skin-tight rubber black and golden suit, and starts chasing him away.
What Dan didn't know is just about every night, an anonymous Seattle man strolls into this comic store, enters a hidden back room, and emerges transformed.
My name is Phoenix Jones.
He's the hero Dan's been trying to tell his friends about.
People are saying, no way, dude. No way. They're like, oh, you were probably drunk.
But he sounded familiar to us. We'd heard about how he and the other 8 members of his Rain City superhero crime-fighting movement walked the streets, eyes out for crime, prepared to fight it. And tonight, we brought these two together.
That's crazy.
Nice to meet you, brother. How you doing?
It's good to meet you, man. Wow, that's insane, man.
Phoenix explained his whole super suit to Dan.
That's a taser nightstick.
And he showed him the bulletproof vest and stab plates.
You know, I've got mace/tear gas over here, so.
But then it was time for Phoenix to get back out on the streets. Maybe not quite Superman, but an extraordinary one.
So when I walk into a neighborhood, criminals leave because they see the suit. I symbolize that the average person doesn't have to walk around and see bad things.
Your crime-fighting experience from earlier today?
Oh, here we go, guys. Put your seatbelts on. All right, so this is what happened. I was hanging out at my bat cave on, right? And, okay, so check this out. We, one of my co-managers, his name is Glenn, and he has a family that lives here in the New Jersey area. So before my fights, I like to find a really beautiful site, whether it's the top of a mountain, next to a stream, anything gorgeous, nature-wise. I like to, you know, associate nature with different levels of energy and all this. But anyways, that's a different topic. So we find a place in Paterson, New Jersey, where there's a bridge, and there's this very powerful waterfall, and there's almost like a little mountain. And it was beautiful, but around this waterfall and everything, it was a really ghetto area. And as the guy pulls us up in his car, he's like, you know, I'm in the passenger seat, Greg Jackson and Winkle John's in the back seat. He's like, listen, guys, before I drop you off here, I want to let you know this is a pretty bad neighborhood, so you might want to be careful. And I'm like, dude, we're at, you know, we're all MMA guys. And he's like, well, I'm just letting you know, a lot of people get mugged here. Just as he said that, I turned to pull off my seatbelt, and the guy, I see an old Spanish couple, like, screaming, and they're, like, running. They look like they're out of breath big time. And I'm like, dude, they just got mugged. And he's like, no. And I'm like, maybe not, I'm tripping. You just put that in my mind. So Mike Winklejohn hops out of the car, and he's like, you guys okay? And then she's like, you know, the guy he just broke my window open, and he took all my stuff, and he's running. And so I'm like, what? So Mike Winklejohn, without hesitation, he just starts running, right? And I'm like, holy crap. And then Greg Jackson, he just starts running, and they both start running. So I'm like, what is happening right now? So next thing you know, I have like sweatpants on, I have an iPod and my Droid X, my wallet. I'm like, what is, like, where am I? What's going on? So I'm like, okay, it's time for me to take action. So I take my hands in my pockets, I throw my stuff on the floor, and I tell our driver, I'm like, dude, take care of my stuff. And I throw it on the floor, and I just start running, right? And you know I got these gazelle legs, so I'm running, right? And I'm running, and next thing you know, I catch up to my coaches, and I'm jogging, and they're just sprinting, right? I'm like, so what do we do? Are we gonna catch this guy? And he's like, John, you get back. He's like trying to swim move me, like get over me. He's like, get back. You don't need to be involved with this, right? And I'm like, nah, Coach, God, trust me, man. I'll be okay. So then I put the Jets on. You know, I went TO on him. So I put the Jets on, and I catch up to the guy. I'm like, how you doing? You think you're gonna? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. So anyway, so the guy, I'm like closing in on this guy. I'm like 20 yards away, and the guy's like, you can see that he's starting to get winded. So he's like, you know, he got this stuff and he's running, And he looks back, and he usually sees me, 6'4". You got Greg and Wink like behind us. Yeah, Greg and Wink's behind me, and I'm just running like, I'm gonna catch you, right? So the guy looks back, and then he trips over his own foot. And so at the time he tripped over his own foot, I got so scared because I didn't know what I was gonna do when I actually caught him. So I actually started barking like, I'm gonna get you, like, So the guy's like, he looks back like, oh crap, but he's trying to stand up. And when he was standing up, I approached him when he's like in a, in your March Cassette go type of stance, because he's like trying to get his momentum back. And one of his behind feet, I just came up with my foot and like scooped it out from under him with my foot, like just kicked him from the back, like kind of kicked his ankle out. And he fell down, and when he fell, he like, scraped his hands up pretty good. And so he's down on the floor, and, I'm thinking, like, I hope I don't get stabbed right now. So I'm just, like, looking at him, like, should I ground and pound him? And Greg...
I train for these situations. I don't just come out willy-nilly and just run on the streets.
Well, Phoenix Jones says he doesn't do it for fame or money, and he has no plans to stop.